Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach. And in this video, let's talk about procrastination. We all know that the secret to all success is consistency, but what if you can't even get yourself to get started? Then consistency is not even possible. So, I want to talk about why we procrastinate and what are some of the surefire techniques that we can utilize. So why do we procrastinate? Well, first of all, I want to dispel the myth that people who procrastinate are lazy and uninspired and have no motivation to do anything. That's not the case, because we don't procrastinate on everything. Procrastination is selective. And the reason why we procrastinate has nothing to do with laziness or lack of motivation or lack of desire to succeed. Procrastination has everything to do with fear. Fear of overwhelm, fear of not being able to handle the task, fear of not being able to complete the task. So that the mind, in order to keep us from the possibility of failing, says, you're not ready yet. Later. You can do this later. You see, the thing is that postponing is a type of conditioned habit to deal with that which you should be doing. Now, the first secret to overcoming procrastination is this: begin even though you're not ready. That is usually the main cause for you to procrastinate, is because you're waiting to be ready, to feel ready for the right moment, for the right time. This never happens. The right moment, the right time, you're feeling like doing it, just doesn't happen. It's something like seeing a mirage in the distance. You move toward it, and as you move toward it, it moves further and further away. That is the way this whole system of procrastination works, and how your mind tricks you into believing that you will do this later. You won't do this later. You just keep postponing it, and it will keep extending itself out further and further into the future. So, the first key to procrastination busting is to begin even though you're not ready. Why? Well, let me step back a bit and say you will need to force yourself to begin even though you're not ready, even though you may be trembling, even though you may be doubting. All of these things that you're going to start to feel when you force yourself to do something that you have been postponing for a long time. You're going to have all of these initial resistance reactions going on inside of you. Observe them, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Let me tell you what's going to happen. The moment you feel the fear and do it anyway, even though you're not ready, you build momentum. That is the magic of beginning even though you are not ready. You build momentum to move forward. You notice that somehow you feel like you can do it a little bit more. You can do it a little bit more and a little bit more, until suddenly, before you realize it, you're doing it with absolutely no fear whatsoever. But the initial resistance still has to be overcome. And the initial resistance is to have the mental attitude and posture that I must begin even though I don't feel ready. And momentum will come to your aid. Now, there is another factor in overcoming procrastination, especially when it's a large project, let's say, that you have been postponing for a long time. Let's say doing your taxes, or doing a report at work, or going to the gym, or any other important activity that you have deemed necessary to do, but you have been putting it off for whatever reasons that your mind is telling you that you're not ready for. Well, the other technique, the following technique that I will give you, is instead of saying, I'm going to do this later, which is non-specific, or I'm going to do this tomorrow, which still is non-specific, or next week, which still is non-specific. You have to narrow it down and set a commitment date of doing a particular activity. For example, if you need to do your taxes and you've been putting them off day after day after day, then today you set an appointment with yourself at a specific time. Let's say 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., you will sit down and you will begin to do your taxes no matter what. Now, let me give you the following technique to make this effective. Because the whole idea of doing something, let's say like taxes or beginning at the gym or anything like that, feels overwhelming, like climbing a mountain. But you don't even climb a mountain in one bold leap. You climb a mountain in step by step by step, in small increments. So, what I am saying to you, instead of beginning this with the idea that you need to finish the entire project, begin with the idea of a commitment to do something that's very manageable. So you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to begin this at 3 p.m., but I'm only going to sit down and force myself to do 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll stop. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Many times, after you commit yourself to a specific time and place, and you give yourself a specific small time limit, say 5 minutes, you possibly can build momentum even after 5 minutes, where you say, well, I can go another 5 minutes. Then in 10 minutes of doing, you somewhat feel, I can go another 15 minutes. And then before you know it, you're in the momentum of doing it, and you have dispelled the procrastination. This is the same, for example, let's say going to the gym. You've been putting this off and putting this off and putting this off. Okay, you can decide on a specific date. Let's say tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. you're going to go to the gym, and you're just going to go there just to walk in, to be in the environment. You're not going to commit yourself to do anything. If you just go in there and just touch some weights and walk around for 5 minutes, that's all you need to do. Just in getting yourself to go into the gym, forcing yourself to walk in, not with any kind of commitment to do a lot of exercise and working out. You're just going to walk in there, look around, get the feel of the environment, touch a few weights, and then go. Let me tell you what's likely to happen. Once you walk in there, having gotten yourself to go into the environment of doing, and you suddenly realize you're there and nothing has happened to you, you're still alive, you are more likely to decide, well, I can do 10 minutes of exercise. And then you notice that momentum builds and all of that resistance dissipates. Another key secret is that when a particular activity has to be done over a regular period of a regular same time, same place type of rhythm, which means you know that you're going to need to do the same thing the next day and the next day and the next day, such as going to the gym, then the other key to busting procrastination is to adopt the concept of same time, same place rhythm. That is, in the case of the gym, you've gotten yourself to do this one day and you notice that, hey, nothing's happened to me. I feel pretty good about this. So then again, you go the next day at 7 a.m. at the same time in the same place, and you commit yourself to doing maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. Let me tell you what's going to happen. The probability increases that you will want to do much more than the minimum, and you'll find yourself actually completing a complete routine. You repeat the process the next day, same time, same place, in a rhythmical, cyclical manner, the same way that the universe works in rhythms, and each successive day, this procrastination wall just crumbles, such that usually when it's the case of, say, doing something on a regular basis, I say that in 40 days of consistently and consecutively doing any particular activity that you have been resisting, it will go then on automatic pilot, and you will want to do the particular activity without any resistance or effort. This type of plan works extremely well if you are studying for an advanced degree and you have to get up at a certain time to study. You make sure that it's same time, same place every day, and keep this up for 40 consecutive days. And you will find that after 40 consecutive days, you go on automatic pilot, and you do this automatically and effortlessly. You see, procrastination is something that can be overcome. You need to have a plan. You need to have a willingness to go through the initial discomfort of breaking through this barrier of procrastination. But keep in mind that the idea is to do something, anything, no matter how small the increment is, to start chipping away at the wall of procrastination, and it will fall. So this is your game plan. This is how you approach procrastination in a very constructive way. Just keep in mind that procrastination does not go away on its own. You need to have a strategy, you need to have an approach, and you have to have the willingness to move forward and do what is necessary to break the walls of procrastination. Procrastination is going to be with you until you decide, I've had enough. Okay, this is yours truly, hoping that you really got this idea that procrastination is something that you can overcome. And as always, I wish for you to stay consistent and be successful.